Let's talk about instant reaction knockbacks. What are they? How can you reduce them? And how can you be more confident in your delivery whereby you don't get an instant reaction knockback? You know, when you're walking around and someone jumps out of nowhere and asks you a very direct question? Do you want this? Do you want a brand new logo? Do you want a new website designed for you? Do you want to eat a burger? Most of the time, I might say, yeah, okay. When you get these like instant absolute questions thrown at you, and they could be verbal, could be like audio, visual, in an email, whatever. The instant reaction knockback that a lot of us are used to is quite simply no. And if that's how a majority of people are going to react, why are you or we doing that? You know, you're cold calling or you're cold email or you're approaching people and you're like, do you want a new website? Don't be surprised if they just say
no.
So how do you reduce the instant knockback reaction? All you got to do is change the way you ask the question. So I'm a web designer. I want to build a website for you. I might have spotted you around. It doesn't really work for web designer. It's not like you walk around into a shopping mall and you go, that person there needs a website. But let's say you're approaching a business who you know they've got an existing website or they might not. You don't say, do you want a website? What you really want to be asking them is, how is your website doing? Because you can't really say yes or no. Let's just do a bit of role play here, right? How is your website doing? Yes. Doesn't work, does it? How is your website doing? No. What? But how does no even relate to the question? How is your website doing? And you as the customer or client or whoever now has a choice to make. You could ignore me and move on and not even give an answer, and that can happen. Or you might answer it, yeah, my website's doing okay. Excellent. Or you might reply with, my website's doing okay. Now that gives me something to go into. So your website's doing okay. How is it doing okay? Has it been going on for long? Are you making many sales? And that's another way of asking the question. Do you need a new website? Do you want to use WooCommerce? Do you want to upgrade? How about how many sales have you been doing in the last 10 years? Hey, have you been seeing growth in your sales in the last 4 years since COVID? Have you started boosting your keywords in your website to make sure you stay ahead of the game with your competitors? The more clever you are with your questions and the more you direct away from the knockback reaction, which could be yes or no. And yeah, we would like it if they said yes, but the likelihood of that happening all the time or even a majority of the time is quite slim and you're going to hear no a lot. The more you change the way you question and what you ask, the higher chance that you will lead into a conversation because that's where you want to go. If I was to say to you, well, how's your website doing? I mean, you tell me it's doing okay. I mean, I query you about, how is it doing compared to competitors? And when you go, well, I'm not too sure, it's not too bad, or they feel a bit confused. Then you go into, well, have you checked your analytics? And maybe have you looked into your keywords? And by the way, do you know the URL of your competitor? Eventually, you may get to that point whereby you can now start talking about the services you offer. You don't want to be saying, like in the first 2 or 3 exchanges, how's your website doing? Website's doing okay. Oh yeah, by the way, I build websites. Do you want a new website? Well, you've instantly gone back to the knockback reaction, right? No, okay? You've killed off the conversation. You have not instilled enough confidence in them that they may want to work with you. Because if they've said the website's doing okay, why would I want to hire you? Because you've not really told me how you're going to take me from okay to being like, yeah, my website's doing great. It's working. I'm getting sales and leads. Show them that you are concerned, like that you want to help them. How's your website doing? And it's about the tone as well. I mean, when I'm doing this video, I'm probably shouting and yelling and very aggressive, and I don't mean to be, but you want to show that, you care. Imagine you sell lawnmowers and you can see your neighbors or people in nearby streets and they're using particular devices and you've got a new contraption now, or maybe you work for a company and you're like, hey, I've noticed like it's taking you like an hour or 2 to do your lawnmower. Have you thought about using like something else which would like halve the time for you? Or you may be like, I wouldn't mind looking into that, because the products that sell really well solve a problem or give us another more efficient way of doing it. And if you know that someone out there's already got a website, ask them how it's doing. Because if it's not doing so well, it will come out, well, yeah, I've got a website, and it was done and it was, we paid quite a bit for it or not. And it looks really good, but we're not getting any leads. We're not getting many sales. Maybe they don't need a brand new website. That's when you start talking to them about social media marketing, maybe advertising, and some of that free advice that you give back, it hopefully instills the confidence in them to want to work with you. And also you'll become more confident and used to doing this as well. Because when you start to understand how to ask questions, you'll get used to it. You'll be doing it all the time. So if you are experiencing a lot of instant knockback reactions, which is IKBR, was it IKR? Because the knockback would be one word. If you're experiencing a lot of that, start changing the way you ask questions. I'm Imran, Web Squadron. See you soon.